Aile Strike Gundam. What's up again, everybody? Robert184, 2Rs, 2Bs, Gundam.tk. You've seen the D-Box, you've seen all those parts, but now it's time to turn those into that completed Aile Strike Gundam. And there you have it, the real grade 1/144th excitement embodied Aile Strike Gundam. So my first impressions are overall positive, but there's still a few things that stand out. When you look at this, it comes across as looking very, very busy, and when you compare that to just a high-grade Universal Century RX-78-2, where it's basically just white with some color in between, you really do see the lining, the gray inner frame poking out all over the place, and the three colors of white, and especially in the shoulders and upper body, the gold and the gray really stand out, so you're not going to get a very clean look. However, of course, I'm torn because that's the whole point of the real grade line, is to make them exciting and basically make them look as detailed as possible, and this one pulls that off. Although, sometimes my first impression is that I sometimes miss the simplicity of the old Strike design. No doubt, however, that this comes across as looking like a more realistic piece of war machinery. In terms of mobility, you're able to flip the front skirts up, and the side skirts aren't going to go up very far, and if these pop off, it's a pain to put them back on. So the legs are going to come out this way, they are going to move up as you can see there, but you won't be able to do the full splits. The knees you've already seen bend like this, and the ankles are going to rotate fairly far off to the side. You can see how far they're going to go off there. But again, as I said before, it's a little bit hard to get the feet lined up just flat, so you're going to want to be careful with that. But everything is staying together pretty well. In terms of the upper body, you're able to rotate it about that much, and again, the red part is going to bend for the upper body, as will that white part. The arms can go all the way around. For the shoulders, you may have seen that you can just pop them on and off, which makes posing even easier, and the arms rotate and bend as usual, and you can get them to touch the other shoulder. When you put the armored Schneiders into the hands of the extra manipulators, they're not going to have a peg or anything to hold them in place, unlike the beam sabers. And again, when you're swapping the manipulators on and off, be careful that you don't lose that part. Once they're in though, they stay in pretty well. But getting the white part on, the knife in, and everything working together, no, you're going to probably be losing the fingers a few times. This is something that I've always enjoyed seeing ever since I first laid eyes on the perfect grade, because to have the Strike Gundam with no backpacks on and just the weapons in hand, he can come across as looking very sleek and militaristic and stylish. So here there's a few issues, of course, getting him in here. The legs are very posable, which is good and bad, because you're going to have to get them just right to get them lined up the way you want. But the arms move, and the shoulders, I was a little bit worried that they wouldn't pull out enough to go forward. But as you can see with this pose, no problem at all for him to be looking right down his arm, so whether that's down the scope of the beam rifle or down at the blades, it works. So this kind of pose shows the real grades both its frailty with the things falling off. I had the V-fins fall off, these side pockets, and of course the manipulators, but also their potential. Yes, it's really quite amazing what you can do with these legs. And it's just as impressive as if this was the end of a sumo match and he was about to collect his Kensho winnings. To hook up the backpack, it's just going to be a matter of sliding this into the back, and it fits securely enough that you can do this. To put the Aile into the Aile Strike, though, you're going to get back issues, of course, as you can imagine, and just by positioning the center of gravity and getting the legs in the right place, you can fix that. But before, my impression was that at the front it was a little bit too busy with the lining and the three colors of the white. But once you put on the red in the back, that impression disappeared, and now it's busy front and back, and so you get a sense of balance that I think it didn't quite have before. And your eyes get drawn to the back and the way that these shoot out and the way they're curved up at the top. So a positive effect, and now I think this is really looking like a sharp kit. For size and height comparison, here you have the Aile Strike up against the old school Universal Century Jim. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the clean look as opposed to the detailed one, but that detailed one is not wrong, let me tell you. Here it is next to the gun tank for no particular reason. And the high-grade Universal Century New Gundam, just to put it back in its place. The way these bodies are made up, though, really come across as night and day. The shield, as expected, attaches in very nicely to the back of the elbow and fits nicely into the fist. However, the beam rifle, because of that movable peg there, is a lot trickier to put in. Once it's in, though, it's nice to know that it's secure. Fully armed with the shield and weapon on, it just adds even more to the balance by widening him out, and that is looking like a very, very modern revamp of the RX-78-2, with the same simple body colors, same idea in the shield and beam rifle, but just slap on some width with the backpack, and a whole bunch of details in inner frame, and that is cool looking. For aerial posing, if you take the 1/144th action base and put on this custom part, just gotta check which way that goes, it goes like that. It's unfortunate somewhat that you have to plug this into the Gundam itself and you can't plug it into the backpack as you could do with Infinite Justice Master Grade, but we'll see how this works. With the action base on, I already know that once you can recreate this iconic launch scene for the strike, what my verdict on this kit is going to be. And yes, everybody, why don't you go play Invoke by TM Revolution. That'll wrap up my look at the completed model. There are so many other poses though that you can try, and of course, if you don't mind having things fall off, but you just get an idea. If you can throw in the beam sabers, have him just with the shield and beam rifle without the L pack on, but you get the idea. So anyway, Robert184, Gundam.tk, stay tuned for my verdict where you'll hear all the good and bad things in one place. And as always, please, if you like the video, hit like, and if you don't, please ignore it or hit don't like, and leave a comment down below about the kit or the video itself. As always, it's appreciated. Thanks everybody, see ya for the final parts. Thanks for watching. What kind of Gundam uses armored Schneiders?